This is Rosen Institute's Your Law Firm, where Lee Rosen and Ned Days cover management, marketing, finance, and new technologies for building the practice you deserve. Rosen Institute members receive this episode early, as well as exclusive segments on the state of your data security, an answer to a member question about making your law firm marketable and valuable without having repeat clients, as well as episodes from Vision Quest, your chance to reset, to refocus, and to finally build the practice and the life that you actually want. Get access to everything you're missing at roseninstitute.com/join. Here's Lee Rosen.
It's good to be with you today from the island of Mull in Scotland. We arrived here in Tobermory just in time for a really big storm. High winds, the ferries are all canceled, even the train service on the mainland is shut down for the day. Lots of rain, plenty of wind, but no real difficulty or danger for us. We're hunkered down and we've spent the wet bit getting some work done, so here I am talking to you. Our time in the UK has been so sunny and warm that we sort of came to expect sunny, warm weather. Now the chilly weather and the rain comes as a surprise when we really shouldn't be surprised at all. This is Scotland, after all, and a bit of weather is to be expected.
It's time for your tech tip. Hey Gemini, how can I tell if I am the most popular guy in school?
Well, there's no official way to measure popularity, but here are some signs that you're well-liked. Do people often say hi to you in the hallways? Do you get invited to parties or hangouts a lot? Do you have a large social media following? If you answered yes to a few of these, you're probably pretty popular.
I don't have any of those. I have a bowl cut that my mother gave me in the living room, and I have kind of an OCD habit of licking my lips all the time, so they're always red and chapped. Would this qualify as what the kids call Riz?
That's an interesting question. Whether those traits qualify as Riz really depends on the people around you and what they consider attractive. It's more about confidence and how you carry yourself. Do you feel good about your unique style?
Well, I do feel a little self-conscious about wearing husky pants.
We all have things we might feel a little insecure about. But remember, confidence is key. Rocking what you've got with pride can be super attractive.
You know, I'm starting to think Gemini is just telling me what he thinks I want to hear. We all want to be popular. What exactly that looks like changes throughout the course of our lives. But these days, what most of us care about is being popular with the people who are looking for the kind of legal services we provide. And how we get in front of those people has shifted dramatically over the years, but we are well and truly in the middle of a pretty large upheaval in how that happens. AI is consuming everything as far as how we interact with our devices and the services we use on a daily basis. And whether it's Google's AI search, a question you ask to ChatGPT, or an interaction with a specialty AI search tool like Perplexity, we are seeing traditional search results less and less, and AI answers a whole lot more. So let's look at how you can start improving the chance that the content and resources you already have appear in AI, and then monitor your performance to spot areas where you can get mentioned more frequently. First up, there is a free tool called Am I Visible on AI, available at amivisibleonai.com. You plug in your domain or domains, and this tool runs an assessment on how well it's performing on several prerequisite or formatting issues that will impact AI visibility. These are mostly things that have been pretty standard practice for regular SEO for years, making sure you aren't blocking AI crawlers, taking advantage of structured data for things like articles, organizations, bios, and products, and general conformity to best practices when it comes to HTML formatting, content being visible without JavaScript, and that kind of thing. Keep in mind that so far, this is just going to tell you if things are in good shape and should be accessible by AI. This tool isn't actually going to tell you anything about how often you are being referenced or mentioned in actual conversations. LLMs are essentially performing web searches, either in training or in real time, to give answers that require relevant and recent information. So traditional SEO is still effective to the extent that that's where information is being derived. It's worth running your sites through Am I Visible on AI and correcting the issues if you have a lot of content that is already ranking fairly well in traditional search. But the big picture shift that's happening is that content from large, trusted sources is winning the day more often than not. You are generally going to be better off having people mention you in authoritative articles on Reddit and other places where these AI chatbots are grabbing information. This isn't terribly different from the early days of SEO, where the goal was to get high authority sources like popular blogs, news sites, and edu domains to link back to pages on your site to boost your visibility in search results. Eventually, that shifted a little bit so that simply providing the best content on a topic meant you could possibly outrank bigger players. Now, it's essentially moving back toward a game of getting mentioned on the big social media sites and directories with all of the traffic. Your individual site doesn't matter as much. Getting mentioned in best of lists on popular sites, in Reddit threads, and that kind of thing is a better move. To monitor how you're actually performing, or more likely what's performing well and the resources you should target for getting mentions and exposure, there are some more sophisticated tools. These include things like volume reports for the kinds of questions you want to monitor, URLs cited for those questions, how often you or your competitors are being mentioned, and how your domain or competitor domains are ranking in those responses. This helps you figure out the resources where you want to try to insert information about your practice and keep tabs on how likely it is that you are being mentioned and referenced. There are two that I will suggest here. The first is ahrefs.com. An awful name that's funny for HTML nerds and unrememberable for everyone else, but this is a product that has been around for a long time. The AI monitoring, which is called Brand Radar, is incorporated into their suite of SEO and analytics tools, which starts at $130 per month. I will mention SEMrush here too. They are another established player in this space. They have a rather dizzying array of options for monitoring SEO, local search, social media, and paid advertising. Plans with all of that and the AI monitoring start at about $250 a month, but they have a $100 standalone plan for just AI monitoring as well. You can find information about everything they have available at semrush.com. And their AI monitoring tool is called Brand Performance. Neither of these is the cheapest option, but this soup to nuts kind of product is probably worth it if you don't yet have some kind of online SEO and brand management platform. But if you already have traditional search, social, and local monitoring under control, or you just don't have a website and want an a la carte AI visibility solution, Otterly, which is available at otterly.ai, is a good choice. The setup is similar to the other services. You monitor particular queries and questions. You get reports on how often you're being displayed in Google AI Overviews, ChatGPT, Perplexity, Gemini, and Copilot, and their plans start at $29 per month. Now from there we get into the territory of platforms that work on helping you identify what resources you need to have to get mentioned more frequently in AI conversations. Profound, which you can find at tryprofound.com, helps analyze the performance of your existing content. It finds out where you can improve and even uses AI workflows to help draft suggested content to rank better. Their pricing starts at about $500 a month. Where exactly you want to jump in is up to you, but AI is quickly replacing the search engine for us and for our clients. So knowing where you stand and where you should be angling for mentions is essential. I'm Ned Days, and that's your tech tip.
And now for your moment of concise advice. I do not like being wrong. And maybe even more than that, I don't like admitting that I am wrong. I like my image of myself as being smart and quick and observant, and I like being right. I think a lot of us, highly educated folks that we are, we like to believe that we're right. We like to believe that we're pretty darn smart. But here's the thing. Success, it doesn't come from being the smartest person in the room. No, it comes from being the fastest person in the room to realize when you're wrong. That's because the big, complicated, valuable problems involve thinking and judging and trying something, and often, at least with regard to that first try, being wrong. The simple stuff where we're right the first time and time again, those problems, they aren't particularly valuable, and they don't allow us to use our experience and our expertise to add a lot of value. And as you already know, low value means low fee. Big value, well, you get the idea. And adding big value means we're going to be wrong. That's key to adding big value. But lawyers, folks like us, we don't like being wrong, and we're slow to acknowledge when we are wrong. Welcome to being the type of person who becomes a lawyer. We're right most of the time, and we're big on saying it out loud. We love to tell people when we're right. We have a plan, a right plan, a perfect plan, and we're going to march forward. But the people who win, they aren't the ones who charge ahead with a perfect plan. That's just not the way the world works. The folks who win are the folks who notice when the plan stops working, and they change the plan before it's too late. Meanwhile, everyone else is still doubling down, defending their decisions, pretending that it's all fine. And unfortunately, for too many of us, too often, we are also the folks doubling down. The winners, they're not managing reality, they're managing their pride. They've got themselves, their emotions. They've got it reeled in, under control, and they aren't getting distracted by their need to be right. You see this behavior, this need to be right, this defending of the idea in failing businesses, sticking to a plan that isn't working. You see it in crumbling partnerships where people just keep doing something that isn't getting them where they want to go. You see it in exhausted, broke, burned out business owners. Being right becomes more important than getting the job done, than making things work. They keep pushing the same strategy 6 months after it stopped working. They keep investing in the employee who has been sinking the team. They keep marketing the same tired message, hoping the market will magically change its mind. It's not working. They were wrong, but they refuse to admit it, to acknowledge it, to recognize it, and to change course. I get it. Stubbornness. It looks strong from the outside, and it feels righteous on the inside. But it's also the fastest way to bleed out without realizing it. In our business, you don't get paid to be right. I know that it would be nice to be right the first time, every time, but that's not how the game is played. You act, you're wrong, you course correct, you get more of the answer right, you correct some more, and then you get the client what they need. The path from here to there is rarely a straight line. You get paid to correct faster than everyone else. That's how you outrun the chaos. That's how you survive the storms. That's how you win. The ego, it says keep pushing. Reality says change course. Sticking to the mistake, it makes no sense. Devoting more money, more time, more energy, more of our future to the wrong path in a desperate effort to prove ourselves right, that makes a bad mistake worse. The ego is so incredibly strong, but you know what to do. Pivot, turn, recalculate, accept the consequences, absorb the lesson, and move on. Listen to the right voice. That's your moment of concise advice. Wrapping up from the island of Mull in Scotland, thanks for spending a few minutes with me and Ned today. We hope you have a great weekend and an even better week next week. Keep plugging away, moving forward, and getting things done. You're on the right track. You'll get there, I promise. We're all in this together, and together we build better practices through better marketing, better management, and better technology. Until next time, I'm Lee Rosen.
Thanks for listening to Your Law Firm. Subscribe to the Friday File at roseninstitute.com and join thousands of lawyers focused on working on, instead of in their practices. You'll find safe, successful, actionable approaches for transforming your firm. Sign up for free at roseninstitute.com.